The holidays are right around the corner, and with them, the stress of trying to keep spirits merry and bright, especially for people pleasers who feel like they can't disappoint their friends and family, can be extra stressful. Here to elaborate more, along with providing helpful tips to create boundaries with others, is thought leader in spiritual and business development. We have DeeAnne Riendeau. Hello, DeeAnne.
Hello, everyone. So wonderful to be here with all of you today.
Yeah.
I am a notorious people pleaser.
So tell us, what are the characteristics of a people pleaser?
Well, a lot of people pleasers want to help. They want to fix things and they are very sensitive to energy. So they're empaths. So they pick up on things energetically. If somebody feels angry or disappointed, they can sense that. And so they typically have a deeper desire to fix a problem, to be the solution for that problem. And so sometimes they tend to get into a little bit of trouble because they say yes when they actually might mean no, or they step in when maybe there's somebody else that could step in.
Okay, so what would you say are the consequences then of being a people pleaser?
Well, what happens with people pleasers is we take on a lot. So, a typical people pleaser will want to say yes a lot of the time when they maybe don't have the energy or the capacity. And so, what it does is it creates this additional stress, of course, and anxiety for us as people pleasers because now we've got all of these things that we're trying to do, trying to keep everybody happy. And as you can imagine, it kind of feels like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So, not only can it cause these emotional problems, but it causes the physical problems too of being in that stress response.
Yeah, I can understand how maybe always saying yes can be overwhelming. So the holidays are around the corner, bringing added stress in general for people who aren't even people pleasers, but with people being people pleasers, why is it even more stressful for them?
Well, of course, once again, they're going to take on so much extra responsibility. So maybe it's also cooking the meals. Maybe it's hosting a Thanksgiving dinner or a Christmas event. And so now all of a sudden they've got all of these things that they need to do. And you might have heard the saying before, if you need something done, ask a busy person.
Mm.
and so and so they end up just piling up. And so again, it creates this overwhelm for a lot of people because now they're adding all these other things to their to-do list.
So what do they need to do to change that scenario so they're not taking on too much and getting overstressed?
Well, I learned this the hard way, being a people pleaser myself and saying yes and overcommitting and feeling that stress and actually getting sick as a result of that. And so I needed to find ways that would help me to create some healthy boundaries for myself. And boundaries is one of the most important things a people pleaser can learn to help them. And so I use something actually called the peace protocol. And this peace protocol really helps me to make sure that I'm saying yes to the things that I really want to say yes to. So if we break down, I love acronyms. The P in peace stands for pause. And so the pause is all about taking a minute to really think about whether or not you want to do it. So you're buying yourself some time. So oftentimes, let's just say my aunt invites me over for Thanksgiving dinner, and I say, thanks for asking, let me get back to you. So that's the pause. That's buying me some time. So the E in peace is evaluate whether you even want to or not. I know for me, I was saying yes a lot of the time when I really didn't want to do something.
Yeah.
And then that created me almost feeling angry with myself and resenting myself because now I was stuck doing something I didn't really want to do. So the E is evaluate whether you want to or not. Then the next one at the A in peace, this is ask yourself, do I have the time, energy, and capacity to do it? This is where we oftentimes get stuck because we're saying yes when, oh my gosh, I already have a list of all these things that I need to do. So ask, do I have the time, energy, capacity to say yes? Then the C in peace is conditions. What conditions need to be met in order for me to say yes? Yes, Auntie, I can come, but I can only come from 5 to 7 o'clock. That's my window for us. So now we're creating the parameters in which we're saying yes to. And then, of course, the E in peace is embrace and celebrate that you took the time to make sure that you were making the right decision for yourself. And that has been a game changer for me in my life in not getting into that space of overwhelm and even resentment because I'm saying yes to things that I don't really want to be doing.
I like this protocol, and I like that the acronym is PEACE, which is what it hopefully brings people pleasers. And how did you create this? Was it through personal experiences or working with clients?
Yeah, it's been a combination. I've worked with many, many clients who are people pleasers, helpers, and healers.
Yeah.
And this was something that I noticed was coming up for them as well.
Yeah.
And so when I discovered that I needed to create more boundaries, I was reading books, the amazing Brene Brown. We can't talk about boundaries without talking Brene Brown. And so that was inspiration for me.
Yeah.
But then I also wanted to find something that was really easy, that allowed me to like really just pick up on something real quick that I could implement into my day-to-day practice when
I
people
love
are
that
asking me
so
all
much.
the things.
I love that, DeeAnne. I'm going to let our viewers know where they can go for more information before we close out the show. For more from DeeAnne, visit rosehope.ca. Thank you again so much, DeeAnne.